Well, it's the year and everyone is traveling in the last few days, and that has resulted in a lot of chaos at the metro city airports. Particularly what was flagged off was Delhi International Airport. There were sights of long queues, delays, so much chaos ahead of the Christmas season. The question is this now an opportunity for the private sector players to start deploying security personnel at the airports? To discuss this, we're now joined by the management of SIS. This is a security services company. They're so far not present in the airport space, but is this an opportunity for them? Rituraj Sinha of SIS is now with us on the show. Morning, Rima here, and thanks so much for joining in. Could you tell us, your thoughts on deploying SIS's security staff at private airports? Have you had conversations with any of the state governments or the minister?
Hi, Rima. It's good to be here. Good morning to all of you. I think private security globally plays a very important role in the aviation security space. As you are aware, SIS has operations in Australia. And if you look at the Australian airports like Melbourne, like Perth, there are several airports where SIS subsidiary company is the security provider. In fact, in markets like Australia, there is no equivalent of CISF. So private security effectively takes on that role. In India, in 2016, the draft aviation policy changes came about, which for the first time discussed the possibility of bringing in private security in what they call non-core aviation duties. In the last year odd, we have seen some of those roles being taken up at the private airports gradually. But I reckon this is going to be a massive opportunity. India had roughly 75 odd operational airports a few years back. Today, we are almost operating over 100 airports, and there's another 20 to 25 regional airports that will be operational. Keeping in view the massive and exponential growth in aviation traffic and the high cost of CISF, I think private services definitely will have a massive opportunity.
Oh, absolutely. And given that the chaos is only increasing by the day, I'm sure there are a lot of opportunities for businesses like yours as well. So can you help us with some numbers? What do you think the year to come will look like, Mr. Sinha? In terms of growth, what are you looking at? Because you've already secured double-digit growth in the quarter gone by. What is the prognosis now?
Well, I think this is going to be a good year for SIS. If I take you, just back a few years, during the first year of COVID, also FY21, SIS grew 7%. In second year of COVID, FY22, we did about 10%. And post-COVID, FY23, we are certainly looking at a reasonably good double-digit growth. So we've had fairly good growth. And if I talk to you in terms of numbers, in Q3, you will see us pushing very close to 1,000 crores per month revenue. Very, very close to that, including our cash logistics services. So I think growth is not a problem in India security or in facility management. I think our margins were tepid in the first 6 months of the year, which was a cause for concern for the markets. But as volumes are coming back, you will see a substantial uptick in the margin profile, hopefully in Q3.
All right, got that. Good morning, Mr. Sinha. Thanks for joining us. This is Pavitra. You were mentioning how a lot of the international airports are very different, but it's unrealistic, right, to expect that India is going to get there anytime in the near future. It might take some time. Do you have any kind of assessment of what kind of timeline you're talking about for, even for you to be given these kind of projects? It's not something that's going to happen overnight.
Well, in India, nothing really happens overnight. So I'm not going to bet on that. But I think effectively what we're saying is that we've been in conversation with the Ministry of Aviation and the Airport Authority of India, also the private airport operators. I think the requirement or the need for bringing in private security into airports is evident, and it's completely acknowledged by all stakeholders. We have seen induction of private security in the non-core roles like checking of boarding passes, etc., or queue management already. I think over a period of time, as more and more regional airports come into play, and we have to decongest the large metro airports, which have a footfall of more than 1 million to 5 million per annum, I think private security will get inducted. But yes, you're right, it will not happen over a month.
So, but these conversations that you said that you have been having with the ministry, have they provided any kind of time frame as to when they would want you to come in and handle part of the operations?
Well, this is a fairly complex subject because, as you understand, there is not just the aviation ministry that's involved. There's also the Ministry of Home Affairs. There's a Bureau of Civil Aviation Standards. There are multiple stakeholders, and then there's the private airport owners. So there are security issues, there are cost implications. It is a little cumbersome, but I think what I can tell you is that I see that all stakeholders are in alignment that CISF needs to be supplemented with private security as early as possible.
Is this a 3-year or a 5-year kind of opportunity?
Hopefully sooner.
Hopefully sooner.
Okay. So if there is, there's another waiting period of around maybe 2 to even 3 years, tell us in the very near term, what are the triggers that you're looking at for growth? What are the opportunities for you?
Well, I think, the biggest thing, the moat for SIS, which has helped us through this COVID period, is that we have a very diversified client base. Private security, facility management type services are used by everyone, whether it's your TV studio or whether it's a factory or a mall or a 5-star hotel or any kind of premises, commercial or otherwise industrial, they use our services. Because of which, our revenue predictability is fairly, clear and evident for the last 5 years that we've been listed. And I think the big triggers for us we've seen this year have been in the uptick, particularly in the industrial space, in the manufacturing space. There's been substantial boost post the PLI scheme. I also see that, a lot of public utilities have helped the government spending on things like metros, etc. They all use private security, electronic security cameras and cleaning staff from us. So public utilities...
Any orders, have you seen any orders fructify there, whether it's in manufacturing, industrial, or even utilities? Yeah. Can you tell us a little bit about the opportunity?
Well, without getting into specific clients, I think we've seen uptick in the metal sector. There's been a lot of, we've secured large contracts from Hindalco, from Tata's in the recent weeks. We've also seen very substantial uptick in the car manufacturing space. We've picked up contracts there. So across the whole, even in the mining and cement space, we've picked up contracts. So industrials have been very solid for us throughout the year. And like I said, metro stations, we picked up very substantial contracts in Bangalore Metro, in Cochin Metro, Lucknow Metro. There's so many other spaces that we've picked up. So I think generally, commercial real estate and IT have also come back strongly after a long period of, literally work from home. They have started to get their offices back up and operational, which has been great boost. Healthcare has been going strong throughout. So if you look at all these sectors, I think they have come through strongly, and that's the reason why SIS is going to report almost close to mid-teens or that kind of revenue growth this year, despite zero acquisitions.
Rituraj, we'll leave it at that. Thank you very much for joining in. A very happy new year to you, your family and everyone at SIS. So there's the management that this is a very large opportunity providing security personnel at private airports, but this is not going to play out perhaps in the near term. But this is a 2-year, 3-year, 5-year opportunity, and SIS is well placed. Just in the near term, they have seen an uptick in orders, particularly from the manufacturing and industrial space. They said Q3 monthly revenue run rate will be very close to 1,000 crore. There is an uptick in margins as well. And for the full year, he kind of indicated mid-teens kind of revenue growth. We'll slip into a very short break on that note. On the other side, we'll discuss what's buzzing in the commodity space. Manisha Gupta joins us next.